Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I am Pamela Trafton, Neighborhood Improvement Services Coordinator for City of Jacksonville, also Staff Liaison for Jacksonville Youth Council. And I welcome you to our March meeting. So we are already starting the third month of the year already. Starting the third month. And so what we're going to do is actually continue with Module 2 and finish up with Module 1. We have Onslow County Health Department educators, Mr. Chris Foy, Ms. Amy Small.
Hello.
So they are going to run our meeting today and talk to us about catching our breath. And this will be a continuation of our series that we are doing all the way up through May. And then at the end of the session, we're going to come back and talk about some upcoming events that we have coming for the Youth Council. And for those here in attendance and those that are going to be watching us later as it's recorded, we welcome you to attend our meetings. There is going to be a slight change in our upcoming meetings, but we'll talk about that when those slides come up. So at this time, I'll turn over to Chris and Amy.
Hello. Hello.
Gotta participate.
Rule number 1, you have to participate. So my name is Amy. This is Chris. We work at the health department. We're health educators. Anybody know what the health department does? Any idea? Yes? I'm guessing.
Yes and no.
To give people information so that way they can improve their own health.
That is fantastic. Might be hands down the best answer I've heard. Yes, we try to give the community what they need to be able to make the best choices for their health, whether that's either immunizations or information or resources kind of help point in the right direction. We also do a lot of classes. Vaping prevention is one of them. So I'm going to go real fast through what you guys kind of missed. If you have a chance, watch the recording from last month. That would be great. It's not necessarily a requirement per se. They kind of build on each other, but you'll be fine being here and not seeing it. So we're talking about making good choices. What do you think that means to make good choices?
Make a decision which would not lead you to doing something very bad.
There you go. So thinking about the consequences, okay? So we talked about a couple. We're gonna speed through that. Here's one of the important ones. What do you think of when you think of vapor? Smoke. Okay. What else do you think about? Maybe.
Like a gas, it has water in it, but it's like still a gas.
Okay. And so we call them e-cigarettes or vaping, right? So when I think of vape or vapor, I think of like steam coming out of a steam kettle. So I don't know why it looks like that, but that's okay. Aerosol. Okay, so what comes out of an e-cigarette is not water. It's not actually vape or vapor. It's an aerosol. And what do you think of when you hear the word aerosol?
Hairspray.
Hairspray, yes. That's what I think of. Hairspray or Febreze.
Sort of chemical that you probably shouldn't be inhaling.
There you go. You said it. So some kind of like spray can, maybe spray paint, something like that. Aerosol. All right. So if it's not water, what is it? Vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol. Those are the things that help make that smoke that has the look whenever people vape, use the e-cigarettes. It has nicotine and it has flavoring chemicals. All right.
Aerosol makes the vape a flavor?
So these two big words, vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol, those make the smoke. So what you see, not smoke, but they make the aerosol particles that you see coming out when someone puffs out of a vape or an e-cigarette. What you see is caused by these two ingredients, okay? It also has nicotine in it, and that is to get you hooked onto it, addicted to it, and then the flavoring chemicals are often in it. Some of the things that you end up breathing in with the e-cigarette because of the heating of the element. So these are made just because each e-cigarette or vape is made of different kinds of metal. So it depends on the brand as to what kind of metal it's made out of. And anybody know this word right here? Formaldehyde. What's formaldehyde used for? Do you know? So close. They put it in dead bodies to preserve bodies once somebody has passed away. So I don't know who wants to breathe that in. I don't. All of them may not have that, but it depends on the metal that it's made out of. Once that coil gets heated and the metals get heated up, those chemicals are now part of what you're breathing in.
If that stuff is used to help preserve a dead body, what would that do to a living one?
Great question.
Exactly.
Have you guys done, have you dissected anything in biology?
I don't think I've taken biology yet.
No. I don't think they do that in high school anymore. I keep asking.
No, biology is a class that you can take.
But are they dissecting animals on it?
I
So
don't know.
if you do, when you get that animal, whether it's a frog or a worm or whatever, the smell that you smell, that's formaldehyde. Because they put it in those kind of animals too, because they preserve it so that it looks more natural and they can study it. All right, so we are going to do an activity with these ingredients. I'm gonna have to just do a different one. Do you mind taping those up? All right, so these are some of the ingredients that you may be inhaling when you have an e-cigarette. So each one has a different one circled on it. So if yours isn't if you flip it over, oh, that was tricky, wasn't it? Hey, just kidding, you can have this one. That one has one circle. We have some extra ones in there too. Do you need a pen? Okay. All right, so what you're gonna do is flip to the side that says, let me try to get one that nobody has. Here. All right, so flip to the front where it says toxicants. And in parentheses it says e.g. nicotine. So I am gonna do that one, and maybe this will help you understand what we want you to do. So toxicants says toxicants are substances found in nature that can be toxic to the body when inhaled or ingested. Nicotine is considered a severe toxicant and psychoactive substance. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna give you two. I was about to give you two. What you're gonna do on your sticky note is, don't do it right now because I'm doing mine. Mine is toxicants. So I'm gonna look down below and see how it affects the body, okay? What's something that it says? It says nicotine overdose symptoms include vomiting. I don't want to use that one. All right, at the top it says the first bullet point, the nicotine. In that it says it changes the brain, causing addiction, depression, and anxiety. So on my sticky note, I'm gonna write nicotine causes anxiety is what I'm going to write. And then once I write that, I'm going to take, or actually we can do that first. We'll get all the sticky notes done. So look at the one that's circled on your paper and find something that it does to the body in that circle. And I want you to write two different things on your sticky note. So if yours is carcinogens, just write carcinogens, causes, and whatever it is. You can pick whichever one you want, but we're gonna do two. If you can do two of those.
Is that why I have two sticky notes?
Yes, sir.
It's a good thing I got three. I have three different things.
Once you get your two written, you can take them off the table, and there are body parts printed out on this side wall that Chris put up for us. And I want you to stick your sticky note on the body part that it affects.
You got two right here and two down there. you're right.
And if it doesn't stick well, I can get some tape. I don't know why, I cannot get sticky notes to stick. Anything.
I guess it's not that sticky.
It's not. I've tried like 4 different kinds of
Different brands. Different
I'm
brands.
like, it's probably the humidity in the air or something.
You try the yellow ones too, that ones?
Yeah, they don't stick, they fall right off.
Especially if you wave some hair stuff out.
Once you can stay standing. Once you have put your sticky notes on the body part, if you have one that doesn't fall into these categories, because some of them don't, just let me know. So, all right, so once you've done that, can you go and read what the other people put up? I want you to come back to the table with one thing that you didn't write.
He said he ain't picking it. He said no.
Once you have one thing in your mind to share, you can come back. You can actually take the sticky notes. Told you, they fell right off.
Did it fall off?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
okay. You can take a sticky note that's not yours and bring it back to the table. That's what I did with the other ones.
This one is not mine.
That one's not yours, perfect.
It's two down here.
All right,
I
that's
can
fine.
read off these.
I like it. All right, so, Caleb in the plaid,
Yes.
would you like to read one of the ones that you pulled off of there?
Okay.
I should have got this.
Vaping causes headaches and reduced vaping causes headaches, reduced intelligence and memory. Reduced
Reduced memory, okay.
And
Reduced
I read-
intelligence and memory.
I read another one which says it causes stomach cramps, and I have a family member that vapes and stuff, and it
Yeah.
does do that.
Yeah? What do you have, Caleb, in the orange jacket?
Flavor chemicals often irritate the nose and throat, causing coughing and shortness of breath.
And if you've been out there breathing in that pollen today, the last thing you need is something else irritating your nose, throat, and causing coughing.
I am lucky and don't have allergies.
What do you have?
Nicotine causes anxiety.
Nicotine causes anxiety. So what do you think if we already have anxiety? If somebody already has anxiety, what do you think that's gonna do?
It's going to become worse.
It's gonna make it worse, right?
Cause anxiety attacks.
It could. It could, especially if you already had problems with anxiety. Because I know I've had somebody before say, well, I already have mood swings. Well, it doesn't just level out because you already have mood swings. Think of it like a scratch. If you have a big scratch on your arm and you scratch it again, it's just gonna do more damage, right? All right. What do you have, Chris?
Carcinogen causes cancer, particularly in the nose and the throat.
Did you have one?
Carcinogen causes scratchy eyes.
All right. So these are just some, again, with that pollen. You already have it going with the pollen. You don't need something else irritating you.
We have some over here too. I don't know if you want these.
That's okay. We'll trash through. Oh, look, I'm already being on this. Aren't I? All right. So less harm doesn't mean harmless. A lot of people think it's less harmful, but less harm doesn't mean harmless. Like regular cigarettes, e-cigarettes contain nicotine. Nicotine is addictive and toxic, especially for young people. There's no such thing as a safe e-cigarette. We talked in the first session about the nicotine in the e-cigarettes, and nearly all of the e-cigarettes have nicotine, even if they say they don't. Okay, they're not regulated. It's not something that's regulated. Also harmful to the environment. You think of all the e-waste that we have, and it's just contributing to the 99 billion pounds of e-waste. So you think if all these people having their vapes and their e-cigarettes, what do you think they do with them when they're done? Right in the trash, right? I'm assuming right in the trash, but they have batteries. Some of the toxic chemicals actually qualify as hazardous waste as well. All right, it is illegal for anyone under the age of 21 to buy any tobacco products, including e-cigarettes, anywhere in the United States. Somewhat of a change in the last couple of years. It used to be 18 years old, but it is 21. School rules, so these are Onslow County rules. It's against school rules for any student to use or have with them any type of tobacco products in any school building, any vehicle, so a vehicle on a school property. Just found out the other day, last night, I was teaching class, and it's even considered at the bus stop. So if you're standing at the bus stop, that's considered school property. If you're standing there waiting for the bus. So it counts there too. Any kind of school activities, even if you're outside of school, but if you're being watched by somebody from the school, so at whether it's an athletic event or a field trip, it's considered school property and the rules apply. Consequences, can someone read one consequence they see up there?
In school suspension.
Yeah, in school suspension, there's detention, parental involvement, exclusion, suspension from bus privileges. And what I like to bring up with the high schoolers is thinking about, because one of them, there's an exclusion from extracurricular activities. If you like to play sports, if you're in some kind of math competition, if you're in the band, if you're in the chorus, something like that, that can make a difference, right? What about homecoming, prom, all those things, being taken out from one of those and losing that opportunity is a lot. So when we talk about making good choices, we like to talk about thinking about what are the consequences. Are the consequences worth it? I mean, do we think what could the consequences be? Out of school suspension, alternative programs, all kinds of stuff on there. Suspension from bus. If you ride a bus, that might be a problem for mom, dad, or guardian.
The detention part, I feel like it's not harsh enough. The detention one.
Detention's not harsh enough.
I mean,
Sometimes, every kid's different.
It was fresh if it's on a Saturday.
Do what?
It was on a Saturday.
If it's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday might be that's where they start getting you. All right. Thinking about addiction, because this does kind of build on the last session though. How do you think your life might be different if you had a nicotine addiction? What problems might that cause?
breathing problems.
Yeah. What about if you have an addiction, then I need that now. You're leaving places, you're leaving class, you're getting up first thing in the morning. So if you're doing all of this, trying to access whatever you're addicted to, this can be anything. It doesn't have to be just nicotine or vaping. If you are addicted to something, you are putting your focus on that thing, right? A lot of times what happens is our goals get pushed aside because we're so addicted and obsessed over one particular thing. Let's see here. Could vaping affect someone's goals in school?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, right? What about sports? Does anybody play sports? Are you in band? Choir? Chorus? I don't even know what they call it, sorry. I have 3 teens, you think I know? I don't know. I can't sing, you won't hear me sing. So playing sports, even if it's not a school sport, even if it's a rec sport, it could affect you. Not only is it going to affect you health-wise, physically, breathing, not being able to be, on your A game, but also, what if you get kicked off the team? Right? What if you want to go to college and play that sport, or go to college and do, I don't know, what do they even have anymore? Like science, I don't even know. They have like specialty science things, they have everything. Yeah, it can definitely affect your goals in school.
My name is Maddie.
It's Danny.
It's Leah. It's Ella.
The most insane thing happened to me, and I'm gonna tell you guys all about it. I got really scared, and all of a sudden I could feel my heartbeat like pounding from my chest.
I was sick all the time. My throat burned. I would be happy one moment, sad one moment. I was very off balance. Every single month it was like there was something new.
I was short of breath, and I told my mom, and she rushed me to the ER.
My name is Maddie. I'm 15 and I started vaping when I was 13.
I'm Ella. I'm 17 and I started vaping when I was 16 years old.
I'm Danny. I'm 19 years old, and I started vaping when I was 16.
I'm Aaliyah. I started vaping last year and I'm 18 years old.
My name is Caitlin and I started vaping when I was 17. I wanted to feel cool, and I didn't think about what vaping really was.
Peer pressure catches you by surprise. You end up wanting to fit in.
It was very divided between the people that thought vaping was cool and the people that thought it was disgusting. And I kind of hung out with both groups.
At first, I was one of the few ones out of my friend group who didn't do it. And I felt like I was kind of on the back end of this rebellious thing that all these girls were doing.
When I first started vaping, it gave me really bad headaches. So I wanted to do it because my friends did it.
Since I had vaped, I couldn't go back. I was like, it's who I am now. That was really hard for me to deal with. I thought vaping was my identity, so I pushed away people that actually cared about me.
I was lying to my family and loved ones. They never thought I would be doing something like this. It just changes you as a whole person. It overtook my relationships and my friendships. Vaping definitely made me more moody and angry and short-fused.
I felt like it wasn't me. I felt like I had to hide it from my family. I felt like I wasn't being honest with everyone around me.
I regret everything, vaping, how I brought down my grades. My parents, they definitely knew that I had changed.
When my mom found out that I was vaping, she ended up telling me about how when I was younger, I was in the hospital with pneumonia and my asthma had gotten to the point where I almost died. Hitting this device, trying it, getting addicted, I was betraying her. She couldn't trust me. I was almost embarrassed to be around her.
I told my friends that I was having extreme amounts of anxiety, that it was hard for me to be around them, and that I was in pain all the time from vaping, and they told me I was being dramatic. If I was only doing it to fit in with these people, and these people weren't even taking how I felt seriously enough, it was not even close to worth it.
I vaped because I thought my friends would think I was cool. Looking back and saying that out loud, that sounds so dumb.
When I first told my mom, she was happy that I could face this addiction, and she was proud of me for being able to face it head on and quit.
Don't even consider trying it. I think that the first time that I hit it was when I made the decision to possibly fall into addiction, and I could have avoided a lot of stress and hardship.
You really need to take a step back, and you really just have to ask yourself, are you doing this for me or are you doing this for others? At the end of the day, what I want to do should be more important than what anyone thinks.
All right, so that video talks about vaping consequences. So vaping consequences, what kind of consequences did we talk about with the school? What kind of consequences might you have?
In school suspension.
Expulsion, detention, parental contact.
Yeah, kicked off a team, distracted from your goals.
I also saw that you could get community service.
Right. What about health? What are some of the health consequences?
Breathing. The risk of getting cancer.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
Cancer, addiction, sore throat, nosebleeds, headaches. If you have asthma, it can make it worse. What about social life?
Depression.
Yeah. Anxiety, depression, mood swings, which I think we talk about that more in another session. But a lot of times the media is targeting and presenting it as though it's going to help with these things.
I feel like for the family one, it'd be very similar to the social life, except minus the friends might not like it, but more family would not like it.
Right? Right? Does anybody have any younger siblings? See one of them. You're a role model. Whether you want to be or not, you are. They're looking at you. Whether you think, oh, they're not paying attention, they don't even like me, they don't get along with me. No, they're watching you. They're looking up to you. We definitely don't want to lose trust. I know I don't. And I know my kids don't, because when they lose trust, then they lose privileges, right? All right. Some other things, we definitely don't want to be in legal trouble. We talked about you have to be older than 21. Harming the environment, it costs a lot of money. You know, I have some of my goals are not cheap. I like to travel. I like to go places. That's where I want my money to go. So it's not cheap. Think about that. Being tricked by tobacco companies, we talked about that in another session coming up, and how they target teens. All right. Oh, you guys didn't do the true false, but I can read them out loud. They were from the first part. Well, Chris, you want to read them?
I can.
Give me a second.
Let's stay right here.
I'm glad my
Okay.
All right, Chris is gonna read them out loud and you tell us what you think.
The cloud from e-cigarettes is water vapor.
False.
So the kids in the first session did what they thought to begin with, and then we went through this session, and then you kind of see if your answers change, but that's okay. Crap, you're right. False. The cloud from the e-cigarette is a harmful aerosol.
Some e-cigarettes are safe.
False. False.
There is no such thing as a safe e-cigarette.
Most e-cigarettes contain nicotine, the addictive chemical found in other tobacco products.
True.
You're too smart. 99% of e-cigarettes contain nicotine.
Yes, hopefully.
You have to be at least 18 years old to buy or use tobacco products.
False.
Nice. So what is the truth?
21.
21.
Nicotine harms healthy growth and development of the brain.
False.
True.
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 And this is a big deal. You guys are young. Am I young?
Yes.
Nice. You win. I asked the kids in the class yesterday, and they were all like, So my brain is kind of old. But thank you for saying yes. Your brains are young. They are still developing, so they the harm to them is a lot more. It's increased because your brain is still growing, developing. Okay.
Fruit, mint, and candy flavored e-cigarettes are less dangerous than tobacco flavored e-cigarettes.
False.
You guys are great. That is fantastic. It says that they're just as dangerous. I'm gonna actually argue that. I feel they are more dangerous because you have all the regular ingredients and now you're adding flavors. And those flavors that are added, we talked about it last month, is they are approved, most of them have been approved for ingesting, so eating, just regular flavors, but they're not for breathing in. We're not supposed to be breathing them in. So it's actually adding problems. Yes.
Do cigarettes or e-cigarettes and stuff like that, are they known to have any sugars in it?
Sugars?
Yes.
It's a great question. Not that I know of, but I can look that up.
Yeah, my dad has diabetes and stuff. So
Oh.
I was just thinking about it because, like, if it has
So I don't
sugar
think
in
it does,
could
but it
affect that.
definitely does affect individuals with diabetes because the nicotine restricts blood flow. That's one of the things it does, which causes actually a decrease in bone density as well. So it would, I do not know all of the facts on how it affects somebody with diabetes, but my assumption is it would have a greater impact on somebody with it. But that's interesting. You should look that up and come back and tell us next time. Teach me.
You cannot get addicted to nicotine unless you use it every day.
False.
You can get addicted.
Oh, you cannot get addicted if you use it every day.
You guys are right. You got it right. All right. All right. We're not doing a summary because we just did that. Can I have like 5 more minutes? I'm like already on the end. I'm like, we just finished session 1.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what percentage of middle schoolers do you think choose not to use e-cigarettes? Just do this. These statistics come from the CDC. They are, my disclaimers, they're 2020 statistics, so you're thinking of 2019. This is pre-COVID, okay? It's also all over the United States. It's not just here in this county, this city, not just at whatever, White Oak or Southwest.
You said before COVID?
It is, pre-COVID.
6%.
Okay, choose not to use. It's pretty
I also agree with 60%.
They tell us, middle schoolers, they're telling us that 95% of middle schoolers choose not to use e-cigarettes. I looked it up on the CDC's website because I was like, oh. But I don't know what it's like in Iowa or Idaho or Texas or somewhere else. So they say 95% of middle schoolers choose not to use e-cigarettes. High schoolers, what do you think of high schoolers? It's going
50.
20%?
They're telling us 80% choose not to, and the other 20%, I hate going through these because the kids are like, no. You have to take into consideration that they surveyed kids. And I've been putting in these surveys that we've been collecting from the teens, and I'm like, So, are we answering honestly on the surveys? I don't know. I don't know what kids that they surveyed either. But the bottom line is, whether we agree with or disagree with their assessment, more than likely, being it came up that high, the majority don't. So more than half that do use e-cigarettes in high school have tried to quit at least once.
Well, now, if we go back to that slide, it almost makes you say that it could be kind of skewed only because it says choose not to use e-cigarettes. Not that they've never tried
That's
e-cigarettes.
exactly what I told one of the other groups.
So,
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
You could also, I choose not to use it, but I'm addicted to it.
Right.
So that's also a thing that I've thought about. These are all variables that definitely could play into that.
right.
Nicotine rewires your brain. Nearly all e-cigarettes contain nicotine. We've talked about that. Juuls and many disposable e-cigarettes like Puff Bar have extremely high doses of nicotine. I was just reading an article that I sent to one of our other health educators that was talking about how they're changing the type of nicotine, and they're using, I think it was nicotine salts is what they called it, because it creates less problems with irritation in the nose and throat, but it hits the system a lot harder.
Oh my
And I was like, oh, great, the alkaline level, it was a lot lower alkaline level. And I was like, that's just what we need. So extremely high doses of nicotine.
You said it's alkaline?
A fake sugar.
Fake sugar?
I'm not sure. I would not want, you don't want to quote me on with that.
Something.
But it does rewire your brain. It causes anxiety, depression. You can imagine it causes anxiety if you're thinking, I need this, I want this. I mean, that would lead to some anxiety, right? Addiction is faster and stronger than you think. In 1 month time, and 1 in 4 teens who get addicted to nicotine are hooked within a month. So you think of what a month was the last time we met here. That was a month ago. Doesn't take long in a month. Does kind of fly by. My stomach is growling. All right, signs of nicotine addiction. What do we have up there? That bold is bad mood. Strong cravings.
Loss of control.
Loss of control. You've tried to stop, but found it really hard not to. So this isn't just, this is addiction. Most of these apply to other areas of addiction, to it being addicted to other things as well. Especially these bottom 3. What does this one say? Clingy. You feel like you can't go anywhere without your vape or whatever this thing is that you're addicted to. Or can't go long periods of time without taking a few puffs. And the last one is?
High risk.
Yeah, you can't stop yourself from vaping in places you know you could get caught. And this is what's happening with the teens in the schools. They're addicted to it, and they can't go all day in school without it. And they're willing to take the risk because they have to have it.
Hi, it's Caitlin.
Hey guys, it's Isaac.
Hey, it's Chloe.
It's Katie. I have the craziest story to tell you. My chest would start to hurt. I'd get really, really dizzy.
I couldn't really breathe.
My heart started cramping
I
up.
was beating so fast. My chest would feel like it was on fire.
Sometimes I would even pass out. My name is Katie Jo. I'm 11 years old, and I started vaping in July.
I'm Caitlin. I started vaping 3 years ago.
My name's Isaac, and I started vaping at 17.
I'm Chloe, I'm 17, and I started vaping when I was 15. As soon as I started vaping, I started having panic attacks.
I thought it just affected your body and not your mindset.
It was making me feel less than who I was. My confidence was just dropping.
I thought vaping could be a stress reliever because most of my friends were doing it and they were telling me how it helped them through school and homework, and I was trying to make a decision of where I wanted to play college football at, and I was just extremely stressed, so I picked it up and tried it.
Vaping does not make you relaxed. If anything, it makes it so that you are more anxious.
At first, I didn't think it was like addictive. I thought I was kind of stronger than it, but soon I realized like it was holding kind of a power over me. Like I would leave class and use it, and I was always craving more and more. Like it was never enough.
A lot of people assumed I was happy all the time, but once I got home, I would go to my room and it'd just be depression and sadness and loneliness, and I felt like no one was there for me.
Well, I started isolating myself from a lot of people, friends, family, in the world.
My anxiety got really bad after I started vaping. It wouldn't even have to do with vaping. It would just be like about anything really. And it was odd because I was never an anxious person before.
I realized what vaping really did to me. It was not helping me cope. It was canceling out my ability to cope.
I started to feel anxious, and it wasn't happening to anybody else. So that meant that something was wrong with me. That just made me feel even more anxious and even more sad.
It made my anxiety so bad, I couldn't even leave the house. I was scared to go to school. And then once I stopped, everything got better.
I started a club at my school with my friend Tommy. We decided that other people needed a support group to like know that they're backed when they wanted to quit.
You don't have to keep doing it if it's not something that you really want to be doing.
I'm someone that has done it, and so I kind of want to be that voice for the like generation coming up to make sure they don't make the same mistakes.
So pressures all around us and those things that influence us. What about ourselves? Do we put pressures on ourselves?
Yes.
Absolutely. We likely put more pressure on ourselves than other people do and than the media does as well. What are some pressures that we put on ourselves that you can think of?
Stress.
Yeah, we put ourselves through stress. What are the things that we tell ourselves? This can be about vaping, it could be about sports, it could be about anything. You put pressure on yourself, tell yourself.
What do you, when you think of stress and putting pressures, what are you constantly worried about
Or thinking about.
thinking
What
about
could
all
go
the time?
wrong? What could happen?
Yeah.
Who would catch me? What would happen if someone would catch me? Type of stuff like
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I could have done better. I could have run faster. So a lot of ones that we put over here with other people. So what are some pressures or influences from other people? What do you think? How do other people influence us?
that. Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, right? So,
What way?
yeah, one of the ladies in my last class was like, "You're killing the vibe." So if somebody's passing a vape around and then you say no, you're killing the vibe. You're messing up. We're having fun here. You're not having fun. That kind of thing. But
Be the oddball out.
yeah, you don't want to be the oddball out. You just want to stay like kind of calm and cool and not be pointed out by anyone. But I feel like we put more pressure on ourselves about that situation than even those other people do. We think, are they going to think I'm uncool? Are they going to think this? Are they going to not invite me to the next party? Or, So we take their thoughts and what they care about and then put them on ourselves. Maybe they don't care. They're expensive anyways. They shouldn't care. Just pass it. Save your money on me. Don't waste your money on me. But okay, so that's self, other people. What about media? Advertising. We're going to talk a lot about that. That's my favorite. We're going to look at ads and see where they are trying to target teens. Look at there. We did it. Yes.
Will this come up as far as anything that could be potentially caught by sharing vapes?
So we don't necessarily talk about it in this program, but I have talked to the teens, some of the teens that we see that have been already caught with vaping, so we talked to a lot of those teens as well. And last night, I told a kid, I said, well, because I know a lot of them are getting put into the bathrooms. So that's where the transition is. They leave them in the bathrooms, and then, hey, I left the vape in such and such bathroom, you can go get it. And in my mind, I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, and I'm thinking, that is disgusting. So a kid last night, I asked him, I said, if I had an unwrapped sucker, and I said, here, I just got this off the bathroom floor, you want it? I mean, I feel like we might say no. That wasn't his response.
So they're
His
not
response
saying-
was, what flavor was it?
Oh, that's
Does it matter? Is there a flavor you would be okay with? So that, I think, is my biggest one. I mean, they are passing it. So obviously, if you're passing it around, anything your mouth is touching and somebody else's mouth is touching, I mean, from the health perspective, it could be anything from the flu to a stomach bug to herpes. I mean, it's the mouth. So, I mean, there's probably an entire list of things to be passed around. I don't know if there's been any studies yet on that. It would be actually kind of interesting. But if they're taking it off the bathroom floor and the back of toilets, because that's where what I'm hearing.
They're putting it inside the toilet?
No, but like, I guess on the back of it, like resting it on the back.
Oh.
And I educated the kids last night. I'm not sure if you know, but when you flush the toilet, things don't just go down. They go out like 5 feet. And so, I don't know, just think twice, at least if it's that situation. I think that's a great, I've also been educated to hear that, some of the county schools now in the bathrooms, they have vape sensors in the bathroom. So if a vape, goes off.
They know to go check
I guess an alarm goes off in the bathroom.
All I think of when we're talking about this is like last year with things called devious licks, where people just started taking things from school which didn't need to be taken, like the projectors and for some reason toilets.
I think I heard something about this. I feel like somebody told me something about this in one of my classes that I've taught.
Like it didn't make any sense.
A lot of things don't make sense. A lot of things are done for attention, and a lot of things are done because of boredom. Boredom. There's a lot for kids to do out there too, so it kind of blows my mind to think that the kids are that bored, but we all make poor choices some point in time in our lives, right? Right? So we've all made a poor choice, but we need to learn from those and think the next time you make a choice, what questions can I ask? We talked about that in the last time. What questions can I ask about? I've already taken up all your time. Every single bit of it. Really, really quick. So, because I want you guys to. So, if I let you have all the contents in one of these bags, but I let you have a chance to ask questions about them first, okay? There's something for each of you, either in this bag, and this bag, but you might not want what's in this bag, okay? Did anybody see this? I did this actually on our session 0, I think.
Well, you put introduction.
Yes.
I got one of the bags.
Okay, so this is a little different. There's something for everybody. What kind of questions would you ask me if I said, I'll give you the contents of one of these bags at the end you get to choose? What kind of questions would you ask me about what's in here?
It doesn't matter.
Does it matter?
Does it really matter what's in the bag?
I mean, I think it matters.
Because if
What if it's something that's gonna hurt you?
then I would probably give it back. It's like, here, you
So ask what's in there. Ask me a question about what's in here. Any question? Nothing?
Can it cause physical or mental distress?
No, not typically. I guess you could cut yourself with it, but that's not what it's for. It could.
What is the weight of it?
Ooh. I don't know, like really light.
Grams, I guess.
Don't look in it. All right, what about this one?
So liquid.
It'll be like what it smells like. Like, can you eat it? Is it small? Is it bigger? Is it gonna hurt me?
Can you use it for like writing with?
No. All right, then you're gonna pick which bag you want. You're not gonna know much about them. What about this one? You have any questions for me about this one?
Is it edible?
Great question. No, it's not.
More accurate question. is it edible that like, you can eat or edible to where you shouldn't eat it but people eat it anyway?
No, none of the above. None of the above.
All I remember is the Tide Pod thing happening.
Nothing else? All right, what bag do you guys want to open? You only get to open one and take the contents of one bag. You don't know much about what's in it.
Do we get to find out what's in the later bag? What's in the other bags?
Say that again?
Do we get to find out what's in the other bags?
Well, I don't know. What if I said you had to agree on which bag?
Here's what it is.
3? You want what's in 2 and you want what's in 3? Which bag are you picking?
3.
3? Why 3? You guys didn't even ask any questions about 3.
I did.
Did you? What did you ask? Oh, if you could eat it.
If it was
And it was a no.
I think it almost looks like.
You want what's in bag 2? You can open it. Oh, it's trash.
Take out one.
You can have what's in. You can have one of what's in there. There's 3. Everybody can have what's in bag 3. It's fine. I'm just messing with them. It was trash. I don't even know what it says on it.
I was gonna make a vote.
It's about some meeting notes that I got out of the trash. So the point is, we want to ask questions before we make decisions, right? Especially if it's a big decision. This didn't seem like one, but it could be, right? Somebody hands you something like a vape, what's in it? What's in it? I ask somebody what's in it if they try to hand it to you, because I guarantee they're not gonna know. Tell them formaldehyde's in it and you don't want it.
A question
All right, I'm
whenever
done.
somebody
I'm sorry.
does something or like tries to have you do something, the question I usually ask is why?
Why? That's a great question. Why? All right, I'm sorry, I went way over, but we did finish, we caught you guys up with session 1. I feel like we finished session 2. I will send Miss Pam those 2. Yes, yes, because it was a lesson review, summary right there. All right, so I will send the links to those videos to Miss Pam. How's that sound? Good, thank you guys, I appreciate it.
All right, well,
Thank you, guys.
I see the clicker.
I will pass the clicker.
Wow, so let's give Miss Amy and yourselves a round of applause. Y'all got through section 1 and section 2.
Right? Yep, we only skipped those videos, which I can send to you.
Okay, and we'll be able to send those out too. All right, so our upcoming announcements. So the first announcement that I have is mark your calendars and save the date. March 25th is our Mayor Youth Summit. It is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we are going to be talking about professionalism, interview etiquette, resume writing, and grabbing the motivation to succeed in what will happen to you after high school. So what are your plans? What is your goal? What is your mission? So that is coming up on March 25th. You can register now at jacksonvillenc.gov/youth summit. So I look forward to seeing you there. And this is open to teens in grades 8 through 12. Our next event is April 27th from 6 to 8 p.m. And this is called Elevator Pitch. You will learn from our Toastmasters in Onslow County how to sell your potential in 1 to 2 minutes. So what that means is imagine you're on an elevator already and the elevator stops at the 2nd floor, you're going down, and your favorite celebrity jumps on the elevator with you. The CEO of a company jumps on the elevator with you, and you have 1 to 2 minutes before everyone gets off the elevator to talk to that celebrity or that CEO or that hiring manager and make them want to hire you. What would you say in 1 to 2 minutes before you get off the elevator? Or would you be so shocked that they came on the elevator and you missed your opportunity?
That's probably what we need.
So we want to make sure that you show up on April 27th so that way you do not miss your opportunity. Great. Coming up after that is our Teen Volunteer and Job Fair. This will take place on May 6th from 11 to 2. This is going to be an opportunity that if you are looking for employment, that you'll be able to meet different employers that are hiring. And if you're looking for volunteer opportunities over the summer, get started, time to get community service hours together, time to get SAT hours together, that this will be an opportunity for you to go ahead and meet the different agencies that will be available to work with youth. And then last one, I gave you a flyer for this already, is our New River Institutes, which will be taking place at Sturgeon City. This is an opportunity for 1 week in the summer from June 26th through the 30th. It's free, it's open to area high school students and upcoming freshmen. And it is 1 week dedicated to either science, public safety, or multimedia art. So you'll get to learn different aspects of what's taking place. With science, Sturgeon City, I know that they've had opportunities to clean the river out in past. They may have studied about different things that you can find in the river. With public safety, you learn about fire, learn about police, get to do some interactive things for that 1 week and being able to graduate from it. So this is a great opportunity for you to go ahead and register. You'll register at jacksonvillennc.gov/NRI for New River Institutes. So this is going to be a fun opportunity for you. All right. So that is all that I have. Is there anything that is taking place at your school that we need to know about? Anything upcoming, anything that other people should be involved with?
Not that I know of.
Anything new, anything you're excited about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing? And tell us real quick, which school are you at?
Northside.
Northside,
Jacksonville High School.
Jacksonville,
Why
and White Oak. All right, so we got all three schools, different schools represented. So now what I challenge you is next month we meet April 12th because spring break is the first week of April. So we'll meet the week after on April 12th. I challenge you to bring a friend or two with you. All right? And that, my friends, is the end of our meeting.